what about the step, the part of the protocol of caries removal? What is very important in this aspect is important because, as you know perfectly, to leave some caries, some decay under a restoration that you are doing, you are performing, is something very dangerous. Very dangerous in terms of long lasting of your restoration, in terms of compliance of the patient, in terms of the excellent treatment that you can provide. This can be affected by this very simple step because maybe you didn't pay attention and you didn't use the proper tools, the proper instruments in order to remove perfectly the caries lesion that this tooth as presented as being involved. Okay, so going ahead, you know very well that in 2015 we launched on the market together with Comet two burst kits. One is the LD1373 that is the direct anesthetics burst kit. Okay, in this kit we have some bursts that are for this type of purpose, to remove the caries lesion. Okay, these two bursts are named H1SEM 204, 010 or 016. As we mentioned in the protocol short video number 6, this means something about the name, about the attachment, about the diameter. 010, it means the diameter, larger diameter is 1 millimeter. 016, it means that is 1.6 millimeters, okay? It means that is indicated to use in a small, narrow cavities, the 010, and is useful in the medium, large size cavities, the 016, so 1.6 millimeters. Why is it important to use this type of burst? These two bursts has this specific type of crossed blades that you can use and to be more accurate in terms of the feedback of remove that type of softened dentin residual, okay? My suggestion is to use with irrigation, water irrigation, and to decrease the speed. 204 in the name, it means that is for a CA attachment, so for a contriangle. If you use, in example, the blue ring contriangle, you can go in the half of the speed, so or less, and so you can go around 20,000 RPM speed or less in order to be accurate, to have that feedback of this type of softened dentin that you have to remove. This type of shape is also rounded, so you can go in the undercuts because, as you know very well, the dentin, when it's going through the enamel and arriving to the dentin, is creating undercuts, and so you have to remove very well there. What is important is also important the shank. This part is narrow, and when you use magnification like loops or like microscope, you have to remember that your possible control, visual control is important. So to use a narrow shank is absolutely important in order to have better control. So when you select burr for this type of step, this type of protocol step, remember these characteristics, okay? We already codified in our kit. When you have proximal caries lesion and maybe you want to approach directly on this area, you can use a narrow burr like this, in example the 0.10, but you can use also the sonic tips, diamond sonic tips, that have the shank with the specific angles, with a specific design that allow to you to just eliminate that caries lesion without remove sound structure, okay? And now the moment of the control. The control of this is about to verify, okay, that you have a health dentin. And so usually, classically, we know this, that we have to use an excavator. We can use a blade manual instrument like a scaler or a curette. It's important that you have a very, very sharp edge, that you have maybe vanadium material that is more strength in terms of maintaining the sharp angle and the sharp edge. And then you are going to listen this cri-dentinaire, this specific sound that you can hear on the health dentin, hard dentin. Honestly, you don't have to be focused on white dentin, brown dentin, gray dentin after amalgam maybe, because it's possible that the color is not so white, it's not so clear, but it's important the hardness, remember this. Okay, so remember this sequence. I know that maybe for you is something that is for granted, is something very simple, but I hope that this refresh for many of you is something important, something useful. If you grab some small details about this sharing, I hope that is helping to you. I hope that you want to share with your friends and also share with them something that you think that is useful. Follow us on our social media channels, on our websites. Follow us in all the content and seminar and courses that we upload on our Edu Online platform. And see you at next video with other sharing about clinical protocols for excellence. Do better than yesterday.